quarterback who blew $15,000 at Cheesecake Factory in just one night, to a running back who threw $1 million birthday party with exotic animals roaming around, to a wide receiver who flat out admitted his spending problem.
I got an addiction of getting it. And so if you're getting it, you're going to spend it.
In this video, we're looking at how some NFL rookies went from making it to the league to being completely broke. Vince Young. Vince Young's financial collapse stands as one of the most bewildering stories in NFL history. A tale of how a quarterback who earned over $65 million managed to lose it all through a combination of lavish spending, poor financial oversight, and alleged betrayal by trusted advisors. Young earned over $35 million in NFL salaries and approximately $30 million from endorsement deals with companies like Reebok, Campbell's Soup, Madden NFL, Vizio, and the National Dairy Council. Yet by 2014, he was filing for bankruptcy with assets under $1 million. The scale of Young's spending was legendary, even by NFL standards. He reportedly spent $5,000 per week at the Cheesecake Factory and once covered a $15,000 meal there in a single sitting. To put this in perspective, most Americans don't earn $15,000 in several months, yet Young was spending that amount on a single restaurant visit. He also purchased all seats on a Southwest Airlines flight for privacy, a costly decision that exemplified his approach to money as an unlimited resource. Young's generosity, while admirable in intent, proved financially destructive. Other examples of his spending include buying 2 cars for a relative, building a house for his mother in Houston, and taking out a $300,000 loan to throw a birthday party during the 2011 NFL lockout. Each of these decisions, while well-intentioned, contributed to a pattern of spending that far exceeded his ability to sustain it long-term. The complexity of Young's financial downfall extends beyond simple overspending. He admitted to not closely monitoring his finances, entrusting them to a financial advisor and his uncle. He later discovered forged signatures on dozens of documents, suggesting potential fraud or mismanagement. This revelation highlights one of the most dangerous aspects of athlete financial management: the tendency to delegate complete financial control to others without proper oversight. In September 2012, Young filed lawsuits against his former agent, Major Adams, and financial planner, Ronnie Peoples, alleging they misappropriated $5.5 million of his funds. His attorney's statement that "I would just say that Vince needs a job" underscored the severity of his financial distress, painting a picture of a man who had gone from earning millions annually to desperately needing employment. The legal troubles compounded when Young defaulted on a $1.9 million high-interest payday loan from Pro Player Funding LLC, leading to a lawsuit over a $1.7 million judgment. Young claimed the loan documents were forged, though he had authorized $1 million in payments from his Eagles salary before defaulting. This situation exemplified the complex web of financial obligations and disputes that characterized his post-NFL life. In January 2014, Young filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Houston Federal Bankruptcy Court, listing assets between $500,001 and $1 million and debts between $1,001,000 and $10 million. Debt collectors sought to seize assets, including trophies, cars, and a steakhouse, reflecting the extent of his financial obligations and the desperate measures being taken to collect debts. Remarkably, by January 30th, 2014, Young petitioned to dismiss the bankruptcy filing after reaching settlements with Adams, Peoples, and Pro Player Funding, indicating some resolution to his legal disputes. However, this didn't mark the end of his financial challenges. Young's attempt at a comeback was short-lived. After retiring from the NFL in 2014, he attempted a comeback with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Canadian Football League, CFL, in 2017. However, a hamstring injury during training camp led to his placement on the retired list, ending his professional football career and eliminating his last chance at earning significant income through football. Personal challenges continued to mount. Young faced arrest for driving while intoxicated in 2016 and 2019, which may have further impacted his financial and public standing. These incidents reflected ongoing struggles that extended beyond financial management to personal conduct and decision-making. As of 2022, Vince Young's net worth is estimated at $400,000, a staggering decline from his career earnings of over $65 million. This represents a loss of approximately 99.4% of his peak wealth, one of the most dramatic financial collapses in sports history. Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp's story is perhaps one of the most dramatic financial collapses in NFL history. The Hall of Fame defensive tackle earned an estimated $58 to $60 million during his 13-year career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Oakland Raiders, yet by 2012, he found himself filing for bankruptcy with a mere $44 in his checking account. Sapp's financial journey began promisingly enough. His rookie contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was followed by a 5-year extension worth $35 million in 1998, and later a 4-year contract with the Oakland Raiders worth $36 million in 2004. At his peak, he was earning approximately $6.6 million annually, living the lifestyle that many would consider the American dream. But beneath the surface of success, Sapp was making financial decisions that would eventually lead to his downfall. His lavish spending habits were legendary. He owned 240 pairs of Air Jordan sneakers valued at $6,500, a $2,250 watch, and a $1,200 lion skin rug. These weren't just purchases, they were symbols of a lifestyle that prioritized immediate gratification over long-term financial security. The real blow came from a series of failed business ventures and mounting personal obligations. A significant contributor to his financial troubles was a 2005 real estate project in Fort Pierce, Florida, aimed at building low-income housing. The project failed when houses were constructed without secured buyers, leaving Sapp and his partners owing over $1 million. Perhaps even more devastating were his personal financial obligations. Sapp owed $876,000 in back alimony and child support to his ex-wife Jamiko Sapp, with monthly obligations of $75,495 to various women in support centers. The mathematics of his situation were unforgiving, earning less than $1 million annually in retirement while owing nearly $76,000 monthly in support payments. Tax debts compounded his problems. Sapp owed $853,003 to the IRS for 2006 income, $89,775 for 2010 income, and $68,738 in unpaid property taxes on his Windermere mansion. Additionally, a $988,691.99 judgment from PNC Bank resulted in monthly liens of $33,333 against his $45,000 NFL Network paycheck. On April 7, 2012, Sapp filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, listing $6.7 million in debts against $6.45 million in assets. His bank accounts contained less than $1,000, a stark contrast to the millions he had earned during his playing career. It was either this or go to jail, Sapp later admitted, highlighting the desperation of his situation. The bankruptcy process forced him to liquidate assets, including his Windermere mansion, which was sold at auction for $2.9 million in November 2012. Today, Sapp has shown remarkable resilience in rebuilding his life and career. As of 2025, he serves as an assistant coach, pass rush coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes under Deion Sanders, earning $150,000 per year. His current net worth is estimated at $500,000.
A stamped received copy of it so I can have it for my records. We at the Hollywood Police Department here filed a public record request, and I just asked him to simply make me a stamped received copy of it.
Warren Sapp's downfall was rooted in failed investments and legal obligations, but he wasn't alone. Another NFL star whose spending caught up with him in shocking fashion was wide receiver Andre Rison. And unlike Sapp, Rison's downfall wasn't just financial, it was personal, chaotic, and painfully public. Andre Rison's financial journey reads like a cautionary tale of what happens when an athlete confuses earning money with keeping money. The 5-time Pro Bowler earned around $20 million during his NFL career, including a $17 million contract with the Cleveland Browns that was the largest for a wide receiver at the time. Yet by 2007, he found himself in court-ordered bankruptcy, a dramatic fall from the heights of NFL stardom. Rison's spending habits were legendary throughout the league, but not in the way any financial advisor would recommend. He admitted to spending $1 million on jewelry alone, as revealed in the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary Broke. This wasn't just conspicuous consumption, it was a lifestyle that prioritized flash over substance, image over financial security.
So, I've never had nothing in life. And so that's why I've given away $6 million just to people, just to help.
The scale of his entourage was particularly telling. At the height of his career, Rison traveled with an entourage of 50 people, significantly increasing his expenses. Imagine the mathematics of that situation, paying for hotels, meals, flights, and entertainment for nearly 4 dozen people, week after week, year after year. The financial drain was astronomical.
You had, at one point, 40 people in your entourage that you were paying for. 40 grown men that you were paying for their meals, their hotels, their flights.
Yeah.
You spent $15,000 a week on just random.
But perhaps even more revealing was Rison's own reflection on his relationship with money and spending.
Yeah. See, that's the difference. You know, getting it. I got an addiction of getting it. And so if you're getting it, you're gonna spend it. Black people weren't taught how to save money.
This admission reveals the psychological complexity behind his financial decisions, viewing spending not just as consumption, but as a compulsive behavior tied to his identity and success. The cycle was self-perpetuating. The more he earned, the more he felt compelled to spend without any consideration for long-term financial security. Rison's relationship with money reflected a deeper cultural phenomenon within professional sports. In the Broke documentary, he described a competitive culture among athletes where he would make it snow by throwing $100 bills instead of smaller denominations, often leaving thousands of dollars scattered after nights out. This wasn't just spending, it was financial performance art, where the goal was to outspend and outflash fellow athletes. The reality of his financial situation became clear when he learned of his bankruptcy while shopping for a Rolex watch. It was a wake-up call that came too late to prevent the inevitable collapse. Legal troubles compounded his financial problems. In 2005, Rison spent nearly a month in a Georgia jail for failing to pay child support, highlighting the severity of his financial obligations. On June 6, 2007, U.S. Bankruptcy Court Judge Daniel S. Opperman issued an order forcing Rison into Chapter 11 bankruptcy to address over $105,000 in back child support and related claims. The bankruptcy filing revealed the full extent of his financial obligations. Creditors included his ex-wife, Tonya Rison, who claimed $58,435 in child support. An Atlanta law office owed $46,000 in legal fees, and Genesee County friend of the court owed $400 in administrative fees. Assets liquidated to settle these debts included $60,000, $70,000 from his NFL pension, and $125,597 from his NFL player annuity. Rison's personal life added another layer of complexity to his financial struggles. His high-profile relationship with Lisa Left Eye Lopez of TLC was tumultuous, culminating in a 1994 incident where Lopez was charged with first-degree arson after setting fire to Rison's shoes, which led to his house burning down. While this incident didn't directly cause his bankruptcy, it contributed to the chaos that defined his off-field life. In Broke, Rison stated, "When you have cash, you create debt. You spend until you've got nothing left. I should have saved a lot more money." This admission reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of wealth management that plagued many athletes of his generation. Today, Rison has worked to rebuild his life and share his lessons with others. As of 2025, his net worth is estimated at approximately $250,000. Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar's financial downfall represents one of the most heartbreaking stories in professional sports, a tale of family betrayal, misplaced trust, and the devastating impact of poor financial decisions. The Cleveland Browns quarterback earned approximately $20 million during his NFL career, including a $5.2 million rookie contract and a $15 million extension in 1989. Yet by 2009, he was filing for bankruptcy with just $44 in his bank account. What makes Kosar's story particularly tragic is his academic background. With a double major in finance and economics from the University of Miami, he theoretically possessed the knowledge to manage his wealth effectively. However, his decision to entrust his finances to family members would prove to be his undoing. Kosar entrusted his finances to his father, who misused funds, including securing a $1 million side deal with the Cleveland Browns without Kosar's full knowledge. This betrayal went beyond simple financial mismanagement. It was a fundamental violation of trust that would haunt Kosar for years to come. Kosar continued to allow this arrangement, hoping to mend their relationship, demonstrating how family dynamics can complicate financial decision-making, even when red flags are clearly visible. Kosar's investment strategy proved equally disastrous. He made substantial losses in real estate, notably a Florida mansion sold at a $1.4 million loss after foreclosure. A waterfront mansion in Weston, Florida was purchased for $3.499 million in 2006 and sold for $2.1 million in 2010 after foreclosure, representing a devastating loss that reflected both poor timing and over-leveraging in the real estate market. His generosity, while admirable, further accelerated his financial decline. Kosar described himself as very generous, giving money to family, friends, ex-teammates, and charities, which depleted his wealth. This pattern of giving, combined with his investment losses and family betrayal, created a perfect storm of financial destruction. The 2008 to 2009 recession delivered the final blow. The global recession severely impacted Kosar's real estate investments, contributing to his bankruptcy filing. Market timing proved crucial, as his over-leveraged position in real estate made him particularly vulnerable to the economic downturn. Personal relationships added another layer of financial strain. His 2007 divorce from Babette Ferre, who alleged reckless spending, bad investments, and drug use, resulted in a $3 million debt to her. His ex-wife accused him of financially irrational behavior, including giving away assets, highlighting the complex intersection of personal and financial troubles. In June 2009, Kosar filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, listing $9.2 million in assets against $18.9 million in debt. The filing revealed substantial debts, including $1.5 million in unsecured debt to the Cleveland Browns, $3 million to his ex-wife from their divorce settlement, and over $9 million to a bank for failed real estate deals. By January 2010, the bankruptcy was converted to Chapter 7 liquidation, with a court-appointed trustee tasked with selling Kosar's assets to pay creditors. Additionally, in July 2010, Kosar faced the risk of losing property in Geauga County, Ohio, due to unpaid back taxes of $173,557.90. Legal troubles continued to plague him. In 2013, Kosar was arrested for suspected DUI, pleading no contest to a lesser charge of reckless operation, resulting in a fine and suspended jail sentence. These ongoing issues reflected the broader challenges he faced in rebuilding his life after financial collapse. Health challenges have added another dimension to his struggles. In 2024, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver and Parkinson's disease, placing him on a liver transplant list with a more than 90% chance of needing a new liver. These health issues likely incur substantial medical costs that could further impact his financial stability. Despite these challenges, Kosar has shown resilience in trying to rebuild his finances. Since his bankruptcy, he has pursued various business ventures, including launching The Bernie Kosar Show, a sports podcast with Big Play Media in 2022, and introducing You Matter Wellness Essentials under his Kosar Wellness brand in 2023. In 2024, he launched a patented coffee blend designed to boost immunity and heart health. However, legal challenges continue to threaten his financial recovery. Kosar is currently involved in 2 significant lawsuits, both scheduled for trial in the second half of 2025, which could impact his financial stability depending on their outcomes. As of 2025, Kosar's net worth is estimated between $2 million and $8 million, reflecting income from his NFL pension, $200,000 annually, broadcasting, and new business ventures. While this represents a significant recovery from his 2009 low point, it's still a fraction of his career earnings and demonstrates the long-lasting impact of financial mismanagement. Kosar's story is one of heartbreaking betrayal, but Michael Vick's fall was a high-speed collision between legal disaster, misplaced trust, and public disgrace. From a $100 million contract to federal prison, Vick's journey is a rare case of redemption after complete financial ruin. Michael Vick. Michael Vick's financial journey represents one of the most complex and ultimately redemptive stories in NFL history. The dynamic quarterback earned over $125 million during his 13-season NFL career, with $116 million in salaries and additional income from endorsements like Nike, EA Sports, and Coca-Cola. Yet his involvement in an illegal dogfighting ring would trigger a cascade of financial disasters that would test his character and resilience in ways no football game ever could. Vick's financial troubles began to surface in 2007, coinciding with his legal troubles related to operating an illegal dogfighting ring. Convicted on federal charges, he served a 23-month prison sentence, which led to his indefinite suspension from the NFL and a substantial loss of income. During this period, Vick was earning significant sums, with reports indicating over $25 million annually in 2006 from salaries and endorsements. The legal ramifications were financially devastating. A $20 million claim from the Atlanta Falcons for the repayment of a signing bonus was eventually settled for $6.50, $7.5 million after arbitration. Additionally, he faced over $6 million in loans from banks in Toronto, South Bend, and Charlotte, North Carolina, for ventures like a car rental business and a wine enterprise. The federal government also demanded nearly $1 million in restitution for the care of nearly 60 dogs rescued from his kennel. What made Vick's situation particularly tragic was the exploitation he faced from those he trusted. Mary Wong, recommended by teammate DeMario Williams, was tasked with gathering restitution money, but allegedly removed at least $900,000 from Vick's accounts using power of attorney, potentially taking more into 7 figures. Wong had a history of misconduct, having been permanently barred from working with NYSE firms for defrauding elderly clients. David A. Talbot, claiming financial management expertise, was authorized to manage Vick's affairs, taking an $85,000 Mercedes-Benz, using $35,000 for expenses, and earning $15,000 monthly. His resume was fraudulent, and he faced securities fraud charges in New Jersey for defrauding investors of over $500,000. These betrayals added insult to injury, as Vick was being victimized financially at the same time he was facing legal consequences for his own actions. In July 2008, facing mounting creditor demands, Vick filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Newport News, listing assets under $50 million and debts between $10 million and $50 million. His largest unsecured creditors included Joel Enterprises Enterprises, Inc. owed $4.5 million for breach of contract. The Atlanta Falcons owed $3.75 million for a prorated signing bonus, and Royal Bank of Canada owed $2.5 million for defaulted loans. His bankruptcy reorganization plan, approved on August 27, 2009, required liquidating $9 million in assets and paying creditors over 6 years, with annual living expenses capped at $300,000. This included significant payments to his agent, $776,500 over several years, and bankruptcy lawyers totaling $2.6 million, demonstrating how expensive the process of financial recovery can be. What sets Vick apart from many other athletes who face financial ruin is his remarkable commitment to making things right. By November 2017, Vick had paid off his entire bankruptcy debt, repaying $17.4 million out of $17.6 million owed, achieving a 99% repayment rate, a rare feat in bankruptcy cases. This was facilitated by his NFL comeback, signing a 6-year, $100 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2011 with $40 million guaranteed, and earning nearly $50 million from 2010 to 2014 with the Eagles and later the New York Jets. "I didn't want to stiff people who never stiffed me," Vick stated, reflecting his commitment to honoring his obligations despite the legal protection bankruptcy could have provided. This moral stance cost him millions but preserved his integrity and reputation. However, Vick's financial challenges didn't end with his bankruptcy resolution. In 2018, Vick signed a deal with NV Partners, receiving a $400,000 lump sum in exchange for up to 3 years of future earnings. This led to a $1.99 million judgment against him in November 2019 by the Montgomery County Circuit Court. By 2020, he agreed to pay at least $100,000 by March 1st, 2021, to reduce the debt to $1.3 million. More recently, in 2022, a group of creditors, having purchased Vick's debt from SMA Hub, sued him for $1.2 million over loans taken in 2018 through Atlantic Solutions. The creditors, including individuals like a 60-year-old Texas teacher's assistant who invested her $50,000 life savings, sought to recover the amount by targeting assets such as cars, for example a $160,000 Bentley, jewelry, and sports memorabilia. The disparity in net worth estimates reflects the complexity of Vick's financial situation. Celebrity Net Worth lists his net worth at $4 million, while Sportskeeda reports $16 million. The discrepancy may stem from differences in valuation methods, with Celebrity Net Worth factoring in post-tax earnings and significant spending, for example $30 million from 2008 to 2012 on taxes, creditors, lawyers, and accountants, while Sportskeeda includes endorsements and investments. Despite ongoing financial challenges, Vick has worked to rebuild his career and financial stability. Post-retirement, he has worked as an NFL analyst for Fox Sports, served as captain of the American Flag Football League in 2017, and coached the Kansas City Chiefs and Atlanta Legends in 2018. In 2024, he became the head coach of the Norfolk State Spartans football team, representing a new chapter in his professional life. Vick has also become an advocate for financial literacy among athletes. He has highlighted the importance of NFL retirement benefits, noting his eligibility for disability benefits due to career injuries and extended health insurance coverage, emphasizing how athletes can protect themselves financially even after career-ending setbacks. Vick clawed his way back with determination and discipline. But for Lawrence Taylor, the battle wasn't just financial. It was deeply personal. Addiction, arrests, and risky ventures stripped away one of the game's greatest legacies, leaving behind a cautionary tale of how even legends can lose it all. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's financial downfall represents one of the most tragic examples of how personal demons can destroy even the most successful careers. The legendary linebacker earned $50 million during his NFL career, dominating on the field with a ferocity that made him one of the greatest defensive players in NFL history. Yet his struggles with addiction, legal troubles, and poor financial decisions would ultimately reduce his net worth to approximately $200,000, representing a loss of over 99% of his peak wealth. Taylor's career was marked by extraordinary success. He signed a notable 6-year, $6.2 million contract with the New York Giants in 1981, and later a 3-year, $5 million contract in 1990. Beyond his playing contracts, he secured endorsements and other ventures, amassing tens of millions in total earnings. His on-field success, including 2 Super Bowl victories and multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, positioned him as one of the highest-earning athletes of his era. However, Taylor's personal struggles began to overshadow his professional achievements early in his career. career. His admission in 1987 of a wild, reckless abandon off the field foreshadowed the financial destruction that would follow. His battle with drug addiction wasn't just a personal health issue. It became a financial catastrophe that would consume his wealth over decades. One of Taylor's most significant financial setbacks came through his involvement with All Pro Products, Inc., a company he started during his final NFL season. The company went public at $5 per share and initially saw its value triple, reaching $16.50 per share, giving Taylor an estimated $10 million in stock value. However, it ceased production, and Taylor lost several $100,000 due to fraudulent stock manipulation by Hanover Sterling and Company. Post-retirement, Taylor ventured into other business endeavors, such as a sports apparel company and a restaurant chain, which faced challenges and resulted in further financial losses. These failed ventures demonstrated a pattern of poor business decision-making that plagued his post-NFL career. Legal troubles compounded his financial difficulties significantly. In 1997, he pleaded guilty to filing a false tax return for 1990, leading to a 2000 sentence of 3 months house arrest, 5 years probation, and 500 hours of community service for tax evasion. Additional legal issues included arrests in 1991 and 1996 for attempting to buy cocaine from undercover police officers, which likely led to significant legal fees and lost commercial opportunities. The culmination of these issues led Taylor to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 1999, a decision driven by mounting debts and legal bills as he sought to avoid losing his New Jersey home. This filing was a turning point that highlighted his complete inability to manage his finances effectively. Perhaps most devastating were the ongoing costs of his addiction. Reports suggest his struggles with drug and alcohol abuse, coupled with a lack of financial planning, led to squandered resources. The daily cost of feeding an addiction, combined with the lost earning opportunities due to erratic behavior and legal troubles, created a financial drain that proved impossible to overcome. Recent reports in 2025 have announced multi-platform projects about Taylor's life, including his on-field dominance and off-field struggles, though these focus on storytelling rather than providing updates on his current financial status. That brings us to the end of this video. For more interesting video clips like this, click on the cards on your screen.